Hey, so if you're seeing this, it's a little bit late for a good reason. So basically, I've had some troubles, and you'll see in the next video. So basically, if you see the new environment, right? So it'll make sense after this video, but just understand I've recorded this like immediately after the last video, but you see I didn't get it uploaded at all. So yeah, I'm sorry. So hopefully you enjoyed the video to AHA video. I believe so, or AHV video, one of those. Hopefully you have fun watching those videos while I react to them. I will be speaking to a good friend of mine in the video. So and so as you can see, and today we're going to be reacting to some scary animations. You know, even though I should be doing other stuff, bigger stuff, it's currently nighttime. I don't know if Corey posted his Super Scary Sunday because this is filmed on a Friday. Hopefully everything happens correct. I'm gonna stop yapping. We're gonna get straight into the first video. Let's go.
Runneth thy pockets. I think not, you scallywag.
Alright, our first video right here is hiking, I believe. Let's go.
My name is Samira, and this is a haunting story that was passed down from my...
bushes, I believe. The bushes. Okay, yeah, the bushes. So this is gonna be an interesting video, and let's get straight into it. No more talk.
My name is Samira, and this is a haunting...
And before we start, I'm gonna be texting a friend while I'm doing this. I have to multitask.
Story that was passed down from my grandfather to my mother, and now to me. Years ago, before my parents came to Canada, they used to live in a small village in a war-torn country in East Africa. During that time, there was a war that had been happening in the country for the last 4 decades, and because of that, there were reported hauntings in many places based on the deaths that were happening daily. To give an idea of what might have happened, I come from a long line of exorcists, so there are a lot of instances of family members dealing with the supernatural. My maternal grandfather was notorious for his experiences, and he did so many exorcisms that half the time he would encounter spirits almost on a daily basis. In this story, we'll call him Jabbar. One day, Jabbar was riding his bike through the forest, heading to another village to run an errand. Several miles down the road, he encountered a gentleman who was walking down the road. The man halted my Jabbar on his bike, and since he was naturally generous to people, he stopped his bike to see if the man needed any help. The man approached and appeared to be a well-dressed individual. He was wearing a white robe, with honey-brown skin and cornrows on his head, not a single speck of dirt from travel. The man asked if he could hitch a ride with Jabbar, and he agreed to give him a lift. The man climbed on the bike with him, and so he...
Bro, enjoying that too much. I gotta do this every single oh my goodness, AHA. Every single time I gotta make, I gotta insult the people. We gotta see his eyes one more time for the one time. Bro got blue eyes. One blue one way, another blue another. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me move out of his way for him real quick. Cause you gotta see cornrows and blue eyes. One blue one way and another blue another. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. And then hold on, let's get on to the riding part.
And he agreed to give him a lift. The man climbed on...
That man is gripping.
Nah, bro, that's still gay. No, you're gay. He's gay. I'm not gay. He's gay.
Climbed on the bike with him, and so he continued down the road. Several miles down the road, the man told Jabbar that they were close to his destination, so he stopped the bike and allowed the man to get off. Then the man walked into the bushes and just disappeared. Jabbar was shocked, and he stood there frozen for a good minute before he snapped back to reality. Jabbar continued to his next destination after that. It's been decades since my mother heard that story from my grandfather, and we believe the man was a lost soul who was a casualty in the war.
That
This
is
story.
Whoa, no more stories. So basically, let's get to this next video. All right.
Dissing me, auto, pop his ass like a bottle, sipping Moscato, bullet with bunch of
All right. The second video, my goodness, is, oh my goodness, it looks like an anime. There are, hold on, you gotta see this. Their art style is so good, it looks like an anime. Hold on, pause. It looks like an actual anime. All right, let's get straight into the video. Oh, let me start from the beginning.
This is a story about my mother. When my mother was 14 years old, she went to her home village with my grandparents, and one of her cousins also went with them. The village was lovely. The people of the village were peace lovers. They were much enjoying their visit, being surrounded by the beautiful nature in and around the village. But then, something happened one day while my mom and her cousin, my aunt, were walking and gossiping while eating some corn they bought from a shop. Suddenly, they noticed—
Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go do something real quick. Hold on. I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm back. Had something. My bad. Okay, I had something else I had to do, so look, I'll go back to the video.
Noticed that their packet of corn was almost empty, even though they bought it just a few minutes earlier. Then, out of nowhere, they noticed my aunt's friend was beside them eating the corn. But she wasn't with them when they were walking or when they bought the corn. She appeared like a bolt from the blue. But without giving it much thought, they started gossiping with her. It was almost dark though, and they had to hurry to reach home. But my aunt's friend's home was very close by and on the same road that they were walking on, so they said goodbye to her, but she told them that there is a shortcut to reach my mom's house, and that she will take them to the house using the shortcut if they want to. My mom and aunt didn't want to, but the friend started insisting that they go with her. Then she showed the shortcut to them. It was a short, bushy path in the jungle surrounded by big trees. It looked kind of scary as it was already dark.
I'm giving you the
So my
answers,
mom
do
and
not fall
aunt
for
said
it.
no to her, but she started insisting again. Even though they didn't want to go, they felt pressure to go because of her. They were confused and started walking along the shortcut. They were walking so fast that they could get home sooner, but while they were on the path, a strong wind started blowing and it started to rain and then thunder. They were very scared. Then, at that same moment, my aunt's friend just disappeared. They were terrified and started running straight ahead. While running, my mom briefly saw a lady in a white dress with a big, creepy smile running towards them. My mom was so scared that she froze in place. My aunt then grabbed my mom's hand and started running as fast as she could. After running for about 2 minutes, they finally exited the jungle and were near the house. They went into their house and were breathing so heavily that my grandparents asked them what happened. Then they explained everything. They couldn't sleep a wink that night, and they were very angry at that friend of my aunt's. The next morning, they went to that girl's house and asked why she left them, not even showing them the way on that stormy night. But then the girl said that she didn't even go outside the previous day and had no idea what they were talking about. The girl's mother was working beside them and listened to the story. She said that her daughter was helping her in the kitchen that day and didn't go outside. My mom and aunt were shocked and looked at each other and asked, then who or what was that girl?
This incident
That is crazy. Interesting video. Let's go to the next video. Alright, so the next video we have is True Rick Horror Stories. I have to be very quiet because some people in my house are sleeping, so if there's a jump scare, I'm gonna fall back in my seat and we're gonna call it a night. Okay, let's get straight into it.
My name is Raj. I'm a college student from India, and this happened to me in 2022. It was just after the COVID lockdown had been lifted in my country and things were almost back to normal. The COVID days really made me miserable and dull because I wasn't able to enjoy the fresh air outside. So after the lockdown was finally lifted, I was really happy and excited to go outside again. Also, one of the other reasons was that I was finally going to see my girlfriend after so long. It was a normal afternoon and my girlfriend and I decided to go for a walk. My mom was still very concerned as the pandemic hadn't completely ended, so she got mad when I told her that I was going out. Being a stubborn teenager back then, I didn't listen to her and went out anyway. My girlfriend's house was a few kilometers away and I didn't have a bike or...
We all know why he's there. We all know why he's there. I'm not gonna say anything, but like, we all know. We all know. I'll give you a hint real quick. Hold on.
I'm on that good kush.
her car, so I had to take an auto rickshaw to her home. I waited for a rickshaw, but most rickshaws were already filled with passengers, so I waited a bit longer when I saw a rickshaw coming from a distance. I called for it, assuming it had no passengers. The rickshaw man saw me and stopped right beside me. Then I saw that the rickshaw already had a passenger. I saw the passenger sitting in the back seat. He was an old man, probably in his late 60s, slightly dark-skinned, and was intently staring at me with wide eyes. I looked at the driver in confusion. The driver asked me to go ahead and get in and sit while he dropped the other passenger at the nearby building. He told me the building's name. I knew where it was, and it was actually just around the corner, so I decided to get on.
Look at his stare. He's looking too happy. Why is he so... Maybe it's out of quarantine, but like, he shouldn't be this happy. That man was... Hold on, can we get a post-game interview? We haven't seen that since that one incident. You remember that incident? Hold on, we're not gonna roll the clip, but we're just gonna show an image.
Name. I knew where it was, and it was actually just around the corner, so I decided to get on. As I was getting on, I saw the passenger who was sitting on the far side of the seat move towards me, and he grabbed my arms. He had a creepy smile on his face and was asking me politely to get on the rickshaw. I immediately pulled my arms away and asked the man to move away. I was getting really creepy vibes from the man and the rickshaw, but I wanted to get to my girlfriend's house fast, so I got on. As the rickshaw started moving, the man slowly moved closer to me and grabbed my arms again. He then started touching my arms with his other hand. While he was doing this, he...
Hold me like this? I'm finna say, unhand me, you troglodyte.
He was trying to have a friendly conversation with me like, what's your name? Where do you live? Where are you going? I was getting really disturbed by his behavior. I tried to push him away, but he was almost clinging on to me. Then I decided to brush it off as he was going to get off soon anyway, so I looked outside and then I realized that the rickshaw drove past the building the driver was talking about. At that moment, I got really scared. Then suddenly, I could feel the man's hand slowly...
He's giving you the P. Diddy method. Hands on the shoulders, touchy. Seeing if you can fit in between the baby oil. Don't you see the signs? Oh, you can't see from there. But basically, he touching. He giving a P. Diddy method. We haven't seen that in a long time, man. He's giving the P. Diddy method. Oh no, you finna be at the next Diddy party.
Slowly starting to touch my body again. Out of reflex, I pushed the man away and shouted at the driver to stop the rickshaw. He stopped immediately and I got off without even looking back. My heart was beating out of my chest and I couldn't say or do anything besides get away. I stood still for a moment to catch my breath and then I saw the rickshaw drive away. I felt relieved and started to walk back home. A few days later, my father was reading a news article which said that a young boy had been murdered by two men in our town. One of them was an auto rickshaw driver and the other one was an escaped prison convict. Hearing the news, I started remembering that moment again.
It wasn't P. Diddy. But at least he now knows.
would have happened to me if I hadn't gotten off the rickshaw when I did? Would I still be alive?
We're gonna go to the last video and let's roll the clip. Alright, to our last video. True apartment horror story. May I say more?
My name is Humaira. I'm 21 years old. I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. I am from Bangladesh and I live in the Mymensingh district. I want to share a horror story that happened to me. This story is from when I was 10 years old and I lived in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. At the time, I lived in an apartment with my parents and my 2 brothers. It had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, and a balcony. The apartment was a bit small for my family's size, but due to some financial issues, we had to manage. One day, my uncle, who is my mom's brother, came to our house to visit us. He came in the afternoon and spent some time with us. We chatted and watched TV, but it was night, and at around 8 p.m., I started feeling sleepy. I had to get up at 6:30 a.m. for school. I was kind of lazy, and I would always go to sleep at 8 p.m. So, like normal, I was just watching TV and starting to drift off to sleep. Right as I fell asleep, I heard my mom telling my uncle to stay at our house for the night. I don't remember the time exactly, but it was around midnight when I woke up. I had fallen asleep in my parents' room, but my mom didn't wake me up and just let me sleep in this room, and she was sleeping next to me. My dad must have been sleeping with my brothers in the other room. I was trying to fall back asleep, but I couldn't and didn't know why. I looked around, and since the door was open, from down the hallway...
Mom, get me out of this house. I see an Enderman. Mom, don't mess with me. Mom, there's an Enderman down there. I'm not finna fight it, so Mom, you better get better get your blood heat on your side, and you better start airing out this piece.
Hallway, I could see a tall shadow figure. There was a long corridor between the room I was in and where it was standing, and the shadow figure was peeking around the corner like it was playing with me. I was scared to death, but I didn't want to wake up my mom. Since he was supposed to be staying over...
That was their first. Every kid wakes up their mom. If I see something crazy, I'm waking up. Listen, my nana, my mom, anybody. I could be out of breath. I can't even speak.
I thought it must just be my uncle. It didn't really make sense that he would be up at midnight staring down the hallway, but I just figured it was him since that made the most sense. Once I decided it was him, I wasn't afraid anymore and eventually fell back asleep, though the figure never stopped staring down the hall. I still don't understand why I thought that figure was my uncle, but as it turns out, when I woke up that morning, I learned that my uncle had actually not stayed the night. I was scared out of my mind. To this day, I still don't know what it was that was looking at me from down the hallway that night.
Oh, you couldn't see it. So basically, I'm not gonna try to explain it. Basically, the guy came by. The uncle wasn't there. You heard it. And I was telling right there, that neck right there got potential. But again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you, and I love the video. I love you guys, especially with the bottom of my heart. And hopefully everything's good. Hopefully you enjoyed the Super Bowl. And yeah, have a great day. See you on my little eyeballs. It's OC and you're watching Odd Zombie. See you on my little eyeballs.